Now, I'll say this, and that's what a lot of the post was about, condemning ourselves. And then there's people that, and this was a lot of comments on this post, people in the world are quick to condemn people instead of telling them about Christ. And we expect lost people to know what we as Christians have studied for years in the Bible. We expect them to know what we know. You get somebody new coming to the church, and they're not saved, and you can't expect them. They come up in there. I saw another post somewhere about this today. Somebody comes up in your congregation, and they got tattoos all over them and everything, and they maybe got a piercing in every place you can put a piercing, and the places you ain't supposed to have them, and they look like they fell face first into a tackle box, and you could go fishing by pulling stuff off their face, but anyway, but they come in like that, and they're seeking for God, and instead of us welcoming them in and letting them sit there and receive the gospel, we look down our nose at them and make them feel uncomfortable. And they want to leave, and then they say, that church is a bunch of hypocrites. They're looking down their nose at me and blah, blah, blah. And so there's some truth to that. But the other side to that is, God never told us not to preach against sin. And Jesus preached against sin continually. So Jesus didn't verbally just go to somebody and condemn them, but he did condemn them through the word. And there's a difference. There's a difference. So if somebody came in here, we wouldn't, like most of the world today, they wouldn't preach the truth to somebody like that because they would be afraid they would offend them. They wouldn't, if they were preaching, say I'm up here preaching, I'm preaching a sermon, and somebody walks in while I'm preaching this sermon, and dude got hair down to his rear end, and he's got piercings everywhere, and he's got nasty tattoos, cursing God and everything, and he stinks and whatever, he's just got all kinds of issues, and he comes in, and I'm preaching, and God has laid it upon my heart to talk about it's a shame for a man to have long hair, and tattoos, or God's against tattoos, and whatever I want to do. I'm preaching on something, and they get up, they get mad, and they leave. That preacher condemned me. No, I'm preaching the truth. And you see there's a difference. I'm not condemning them. The Word of God is condemning them. And if the Word of God condemns them, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you realize that you are a sinner. If we just pet everybody and don't ever tell them that they did anything wrong, I don't mean you go to them and point your finger in their face and start being judgmental. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about you got to preach the truth.